The myth, the legend, the GOAT himself, top 5 of all time, Roy Jones Jr. He came out revealing that he ran across Errol Spence in Dallas, where Errol Spence refused to shake his hand. Then one of Errol Spence's teammates told Roy Jones, "The reason why Errol Spence refused to shake your hand, despite the fact you used to be one of Errol Spence's favorite fighters, is because you picked Crawford to beat him." Here is exactly what Roy Jones had to say. Check it out.
Not the whole Dallas, but some people in Dallas start saying this, that, and the other. Then Earl, I saw him one time at a fight in Dallas. I went to shake hands. Nah, I ain't shake your hand. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Then another guy told me, said, "Yeah, you used to be his favorite fighter, but when you said you thought Bud could beat him, he didn't like that." Okay, I understand that, but the fact of the matter, you should have asked me, why do I think Bud can beat you? You should have asked me, what can you do to help maybe bring you closer? Because I would have told you, because that's just who I am. You understand me?
Now that's disappointing to hear, because Errol Spence went out of his way to shake Teofimo Lopez's hand, who is a known racist. He came out with racial comments toward all of the black fighters that fought on ESPN. Pure hatred, jealousy, and envy. So let me get this straight. Errol Spence had a problem with Roy Jones' opinion of believing Crawford could beat him. However, he didn't have a problem with Teofimo Lopez's racist opinion, especially when Teofimo Lopez picked against him too. Teofimo Lopez picked Danny Garcia to beat Errol Spence. He also picked Kell Brook to beat both Crawford and Errol Spence. There are a handful of fights where Teofimo Lopez picked Errol Spence to lose. However, clearly Errol Spence never had a problem with Teofimo Lopez's opinion. He even went out of his way to shake his hand and post it on Instagram. Keep in mind, Teofimo Lopez already came out of the closet as a racist. On the other hand, Errol Spence had such a problem with Roy Jones' opinion of picking Crawford to beat him to the extent he refused to shake his hand. Unbelievable. The struggle of acceptance. This struggle is real, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not referring to the acceptance of one of the GOATs. I'm talking about the struggle of acceptance when it comes to the racist fans' approval. Social media really have changed the game. Nevertheless, it's more than fair to say Errol Spence owes Roy Jones an apology. However, at the moment in time, that's the least of his worries. He has way bigger problems to worry about, such as the Crawford rematch. Last but not least, in the sport of boxing, this is an emotional sport. It's built on nationality, race, and pride. However, fighters can't be getting pissed and mad at people's opinion, especially if it's neutral. As you guys know, I did pick Crawford to knock out Errol Spence in the later rounds. I got my prediction right, as I do 99% of my predictions. I don't just tell you who's gonna win, I tell you how they're gonna win. But I never base my opinion on emotion. I always pick my predictions with my brain. I even gotta be selective with my words, so fighters won't get mad, which at the end of the day, we shouldn't have to do that. Gamboa was one of my favorite fighters. Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters. However, I knew Crawford was gonna beat them. I remember when Crawford fought Gamboa. In my heart, I wanted Gamboa to win. However, I told people Crawford was gonna knock him out because that's what my brain told me. Now, just because I predicted Crawford was gonna knock out Gamboa, that doesn't mean I hate Gamboa. In fact, it's the contrary. Gamboa was really my favorite fighter in his prime. Man, Crawford have a track record of beating my favorite fighters till he became my favorite fighter, which that's what he did to Errol Spence also, since Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters. Listen, there's a handful of fighters, not named Errol Spence, that got mad at us new media for a simple prediction, which I can't even comprehend. Why they will be getting mad at people picking against them when they have the opportunity to prove us wrong and make the victory that much sweeter. Additionally, they will end up getting more credit. for the win. Because if people thought you was gonna lose and you end up winning, that makes the win even bigger, which means they will end up getting even more credit for the same exact win. Because if I didn't think you could win and you prove me wrong, that would mean you are better than what I thought. So you forced me to give you credit. However, if I already knew you was gonna win and you win, that only means you are as good as I thought. Therefore, you're not gonna get as much credit as you would have if you was the underdog. Which means fighters should want to be the underdog in order to receive more credit for their wins. Errol Spence should have been happy at the fact Roy Jones thought he was gonna lose, because he's gonna get a chance to prove him wrong and make him eat his word, forcing him to give him more credit. See, it's one thing if Errol Spence beat Crawford and Roy Jones still came out saying crazy stuff like Crawford is still the better fighter. Then I could understand why Errol Spence will refuse to shake Roy Jones' hand. But to refuse to shake Roy Jones' hand simply because of his opinion is a stretch. And when I think about it, Mike Tyson also picked Crawford to beat Errol Spence. So how come Errol Spence shook Mike Tyson's hand, but not Roy Jones? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but to each his own. With that being said, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.